Good morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock, so it's time to begin our webinar, another webinar within Digital Literacy Series. My name is Kinga Dąbrowska. I work for Microfinance Center, and it is my pleasure to host today webinar Social Media Effective Play. No doubt, social media became a must-have marketing channel for microfinance institutions. However, as many of us are beginners, we see many institutions struggling with Facebook, Instagram, or any other social platform. There are cases of MFIs which set up a company profile, and then you can observe only a few followers, mainly staff. At the same time, many of us already mastered the art of social media and are winning new clients in these channels. And today we are going to talk about basic rules and tricks of being online in the context of microfinance. With me today, there is Nadia Szypiłow, who has more than 15 years of experience in digital marketing and e-commerce. Nadia started in web analytics company before Google Analytics was created, so imagine that. You may know her as a communication manager in MFC, where she worked for almost 2 years, so she has also a very good understanding of microfinance sector. She has been teaching subject as a lecturer on one of the key business universities in Poland on Google Analytics. And currently Nadia works in e-commerce business. Nadia, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. And I'm looking forward to hearing your experience, what you have to share.
Kinga, hello everybody. Give me a second for thank you for such great introduction. Thank you very much. And I also would like to add that during my experience in Microfinance Center, I was working with social media a lot, and I was observing microfinance sector and social media. So I have an overview who is doing what in social media. By the way, in this period, MFC increased Facebook reach tenfold. And I did it using tips which will be discussed during our session today.
Great. So before we start, let me mention that this webinar is possible thanks to a kind support of 3 donors: European Investment Bank Group, European Fund for Southeast Europe, and the European Commission. The EIB Institute offers grants and sponsorships to conferences, higher education and research, enabling the development of microfinance in Europe and beyond. Our second donor, EFSE, aims at building the infrastructure that supports micro and small entrepreneurs in Southeast Europe and the Eastern neighborhood region. Apart direct investment, they also provide and finance tailored project focuses on capacity building. Let me also remind you about our upcoming webinars every Tuesday in June. So if you haven't registered yet, please visit our website to register. I will be continuing the topic of digital presence and effective customer acquisition. During this webinar, please ask your questions in the chat box. And also there will be time at the end of the webinar to ask questions. So now let me stop sharing my screen, and Nadia, while you are preparing your presentation, let me ask you a question about your experience. If you could answer 2 short questions: how do you rate your knowledge and experience related to your MFI positioning in social media? And the second question is, how often does your MFI post in social media? So please take a minute and answer those 2 questions. I see some people are already answering. So let me give you a few more seconds. Already 68% of us responded, so let me give you the last ones to answer. Okay, great. We have already 77% of us voted. So let me end the poll and share results with you. Most of us, almost 60%, are quite familiar with the topic, and you post 3 or more posts per week, which is great. So I encourage you also to comment and share your experience in the chat box. And for those who are less experienced, I hope this will be a very useful webinar. So ask your questions, use Nadia experience to get her answers. So thank you for this, and without any further ado, Nadia, the mic, the floor is yours.
Great, thank you very much. Our agenda for today includes a general overview of social media marketing to have a big picture of the area we will talk about. After we will discuss elements of social media strategy, objective, audience, content, and metrics. When we go to workflow, how much time and money it takes to run social media accounts with success. After we will discuss some tips and tricks for getting more followers. And in the end, I will provide several cases of good social media posts in coronavirus era taken from microfinance sector, from MFIs, which you maybe could know. If you will have a question during the presentations, please collect it and you could discuss it in the end of the session. Social networks have transformed marketing, and as this picture shows, their popularity is still growing in this global social media statistic research summary for 2020. Networks vary in popularity with different demographics and they are still evolving. Research by Global Web Index globally shows that social media users are now spending an average 2 hours and 24 minutes per day multi-networking across an average of 8 social network and messaging apps. Just think, 2.5 hours daily. This chart summarizes the importance and growth of social media. A standout figure relevant to marketers from this chart is the 99% of total social media users accessing via mobile at some point. Analysis of regional use of social media shows the wide variation in active social media penetration, reaching 59% in Southern Europe, 54% in Western Europe, and 49% in Eastern Europe, and 22% in Central Asia. You can search for your own region on this map. The reach of social media at the respective social platforms varies depending on the country. Let's have a look for example, Romania numbers. There are 11 million social media users in Romania in January 2020. The number of social media users in Romania increased by 570,000 between April 2019 and January 2020. Social media penetration in Romania stood at 57% in January 2020. You can search for the data from your country on the datareportal.com. You can see this address below. This portal provides in-depth local finding for more than 230 countries and territories around the world. You can screenshot this slide and search for your own data for your country. When it comes to social media platforms, Facebook continues to dominate. It remains the most used platform among both marketers and consumers, according to the Sprout Social 2019 Index. There are some noteworthy social media statistics related to Facebook. 89% of marketers use Facebook in their brand marketing efforts. 83% of surveyed consumers use the platform. 66% say they like or follow a brand on the platform. Among all social media platforms, Instagram likely sees the most evolution with new features every few months. In 1918, the platform was testing a new display layout for IGTV, hiding like the likes in the US, and introducing Reels mode like TikTok. And in late 2019, Instagram introduced a layout feature for Instagram stories, allowing users to post multiple pictures on one screen. This goes to show how Instagram constantly strives to stay relevant and update its features with the changing times. So it's only natural that the platform will continue to see an increase in user count and engagement. This Instagram-specific social media statistic paint a clear picture. Instagram now has over 1 billion monthly active users, 45% increase from 2017 when it had 700 million. Among these users, 90% follow a business on the platform, suggesting that Instagram users are keen on hearing from and about brands. Twitter still stands strong as one of the top social media platforms in spite of the slight drop in user count during the last 2 quarters of 2018. Marketers should continue to keep an eye on the latest social media stats specific to the platform if they want to include in their marketing mix. As of first quarter of 2019, Twitter has about 330 million active users worldwide. 79% of Twitter users like to discover what's new, make it it's the top platform for discovery. LinkedIn has a completely different audience type compared to other social media platforms, and is the largest professional network. This makes it the ideal platform for B2B marketers, as well as employers and job seekers alike. The platform currently has over 660 million registered users, with 303 million of them being active on a monthly basis. 90 million of these users are senior level influencers, and 63 million are decision-making positions. LinkedIn has proven to be an effective platform for lead generation and customer acquisition. 45% of marketers have also gained customers to the platform. 65% of business-to-business companies have used LinkedIn paid ads to acquire customers. And 95% of business-to-business content marketers use LinkedIn for organic content marketing, making it the top-rated social media platform. New social platforms are born every day, but that doesn't mean they are useful and necessary for your business. For example, Pinterest, one of the most popular platforms globally. Originally, it was known for being the go-to site for finding recipes and home decor ideas. But now it's a visual search engine with global coverage. That means it could be gold mine for social media platform for businesses with a visual aspect of their business, whether it's photography or original graphics. But could it be useful for microfinance lenders? I don't think so. Not every social platform is useful or necessary for your business. When choosing a platform, the most important thing to remember is that business-to-business social media doesn't work the same as other media. Each platform has a unique audience that expects a certain type of experience. For you, that means different advantages, disadvantages, outcomes, and metrics. Why B2B social media is different from B2C? Consumers use social media to interact with friends and family, to the extent that a company can fit comfortably into the dynamic. Social media comes naturally. For instance, with a promotion for a shopping mall, store, or restaurant. People identify with products and brands they like and want to support them and show them their social media life by interacting with their posts. In marketing speak, we call it brand affinity. It's also a great way for brands to keep customers and fans in the loop with promotion, sales, and new initiatives. While a B2B buyer is also a consumer, their social media habits are very different in a business setting. First, the goals are different. A business user is looking for specific information or may want to talk about specialized topics. It will take some really compelling content to get their attention. So, is social media even necessary for B2B? Emphatically, yes. We have now reached the point where a company, what is not on social media, simply is not visible to a large segment of its audience. A social media presence offers a quick way to keep in touch with customers, generate conversation, provide customer service, and let people know important information about products or company news. Sitting out is simply not an option. So, meet your customers where they are. The simplest way to decide which platform are the right platforms is to understand the social media habits of your customers and prospects. But that doesn't mean just knowing the social platforms they use in their work lives. It means understanding their needs. Ask yourself, what information do they consider to be absolutely essential to their jobs? Where and how do they obtain the information now? What format do they prefer? What new information would they consider useful? Studying for your competitors is another way to choose a platform what will be jumpstart for a social media program. You may not need a full audit, but check out their pages to get a basic idea of what's working for them and what's not. See how many followers they have got, so you can compare against to your own channels. This will help you establish realistic goals and benchmarks. And while imitation is the purest form of flattery, it's not a good idea to simply rip off what the competitors is doing. Marketers are quick to recognize copycats. Ask yourself, how do their followers interact with their posts? Which posts receive more likes, comments, and shares? Which posts perform poorly with very few interactions? What types of campaigns, hashtags, contests do your competitors use, and how it looks? A social media strategy is a summary of everything to plan to do and hope to achieve on social media. It guides your actions to let you know whether we're succeeding or failing. The more specific your plan is, the more effective it will be. Keep it concise. Don't make it too lofty and broad that it's unattainable or impossible to measure. We will go through the social media strategy in 4 steps: objectives, audience identification, content strategy development, and success management. Social media goals is a key step toward providing and improving the value of your social media work. Writing your goals down and regularly reporting on your progress also significantly increases the likelihood that you will achieve what you set out to do. Goals will help you chart a course for improvement and success. They allow you to see how effective your efforts are. They give you purpose and direction in a directed way that you can share with others. Think about what's really important for you to achieve with your social media goals. Take a look at your overall business strategy and your social marketing plan and look for ways to better align and letter the former. Once you decide what kind of improvement can really help improve your business, it's time to start crafting site-specific specific social media objective. Brand awareness indicates how many people know you exist and understand what kind of products and services you offer. Educating audience, it's sharing the knowledge and good practices related to your service. Building credibility, brand trust can mean different things to different companies. For B2B brands, it might be industry perception and thought leadership. Building subscribed audience, it means you have a ready audience that wants to hear about the latest developments at your company. That's a huge asset. Then you launch a new product and to ensure regular ongoing sales. Generating sales revenue, this is a great social media goal for marketers because it directly relates to the business bottom line. It could be, the goal could be also building loyalty with existing customers and building social awareness about key points. Understand your audience. The first thing you need to identify is who your target audience is. Customer profiling provides you with the in-depth knowledge you need in order to attract a large following. Create personas. A marketing persona is a composite sketch of a key segment of your audience. Let's break her down a little bit. Composite sketch. A marketing persona is not supposed to detail one specific person and should never be based off one specific individual. Instead, it is a composite sketch that should be reflective of majority of people it is supposed to represent. And key segment of your audience, a marketing persona is meant to represent a segment of your target market, not the whole thing. If your target market is farmers, it is perfectly acceptable to have multiple personas for different types of farmers, so long as there is enough of a difference between them to warrant a separate persona. You may have multiple marketer personas broken up by business size or industry or whatever makes sense for your business. Some of the more important factors to consider include demographics. What is the age, gender, and income of a desired following? Think about what type of company they are, how many people work for them, and what their revenue or geographic scope is. Speak to existing customers. How did they originally find your company? What makes them choose you? Why do they stay loyal to you? It's also worth spending some time analyzing your competitors are doing on social media. Who is following them? What content are they sharing? Which of their posts get high levels of engagement and which don't? Think like your audience. What business problems do they have? How they are looking for funding? How they perceive loans? And now maybe we could have some insight about your experience with personas and segments. Kinga, please go with the poll.
So yes, please, if you could answer those two short questions. The first one is into how many segments do you divide your clients while communicating online? And the second question, if you segment your clients, what criteria do you use to segment your clients? So if you could spend a few seconds and answer those questions. I already see almost 40% answered, so let's wait another 10 seconds. So to summarize, Nadia, I understand that we should probably create as many personas as different characteristics we can figure it out based on the description of clients we have, right?
Not exactly. It's good to be in balance, because if you have too much personas, it will be difficult to keep all of them in mind and work for all of them. So it's good to find the balance between diversification and the right number.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So we have almost 60% who voted. So let me close the poll and share results. So majority of you use 3 or more segments, and you divide them according to client's business sector. Most of you, 61%. A little bit less don't apply segmentation, and therefore there is no criteria.
Yeah, 3-4 segments is, I think it's quite good number for MFI, which is not very big and provides not so diversified type of services.
Mm-hmm. So the results do not surprise you. It's
yes, it's a good level. So can we go further? Okay. Develop a content strategy which aligns with the customer journey. We will not go too deep in the topic of content development because it was already great presented at MFC webinar, Introduction to the Power of Content Marketing, held by Lukasz Cichanek. Please read the webinar video and to go deep in this topic. So I will only give several tips and a bunch of tricks how to make your content more adjust for social media. Make sure you have a content hub or a place to publish your content. While it's great to have a social presence, social posts should point followers to a website. You don't want your customers to stop at 140 characters of Twitter post. Always lead people to your website. Identify your major pieces of content. It's important to know what you have and what you need to develop from scratch. It's best to start with core content elements upon which most sequenced communications are based. Customize your content for each social media platform. No matter how great your content is, when it's distributed on social media, it's only meaningful within the context of where it appears. Have you ever seen a tweet what was cut off because it was auto-posted from Facebook? It doesn't look good. For each social media platform, present your messages in the context of the platform on which you are communicating. Here are examples of the type of customization you should do for some of the major social media networks for B2B marketers: Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. The tone of voice, best post length, and tagging practices are different and worth to know. You can make a screenshot of this slide to save the information. Twitter, think of Twitter as a live and breathing conversation. Keep your tweets short, engaging, and easy shareable. While you get 140 characters, your post should be less than 150, 120 characters. Use hashtag to connect with an audience or tap into relevant trends. Also, don't start a tweet with an @ symbol because it will only be seen by mutual followers of the sender and receiver, thus diminishing your reach. And as with so much of social media, make it visual. Tweet with pictures have 50% higher click-through rates. Facebook this is where you can show your personality and than just about any other social media network. From a frame of mind, visitors to Facebook generally want to have fun and be entertained. This is not the place for serious content. And while here is no limit on the number of characters, keep your post under 240 characters. Use as many visuals as possible, but make sure they are properly sized for Facebook. LinkedIn. Looking to find and share serious content? Here is your network. If you think about the body language of someone on Facebook, envision someone leaning back on their chair. For LinkedIn, they are leaning forward, thinking and ready for learning. It's okay to provide more in-depth content here. You can post content to your company page and to relevant LinkedIn groups. But when posting to groups, it's best to listen first to the questions and conversation before offering your content. Okay, content. I have a bunch, content ideas and tricks. The perfect content are useful articles on topics related to a business. For business loan, could be for small medium enterprises, it could be some SMEs financial issues, accounting related with loans, legal issues related with loans, and so on. There are a lot of SMEs owners who are looking for this information, and they can find it in your channels, just next to your sales information. Of course, production of such content is quite expensive. It is not easy to write a good, useful article. So here are a bunch of ideas and tips for another, more cheapest content. Broadcast live stories from events, institution live, and workshops. Something what is already going on. Live videos have a good visibility. Showcase who your customers are. Reshare some of your customers' content. Not only is it a good strategy for outsourcing a percentage of your content creation, it gives potential customers someone to identify with. The companies you are targeting may sell different products or services, but they have similar needs and face similar problems. Celebrate your customers' win. Remember that you are positioning your customers as the hero here. So it's not all about you. Turn the lens back to them, especially when you have accomplished something they have accomplished something noteworthy. It feels good for your current clients when you celebrate them, and it signals to future clients that you are invested in their success. Tell customer success stories. Okay, we got just done saying it's not about you, but sometimes it's a little bit about you. Your customer successes are also your successes. Don't be shy about that. Share how you helped them get there. Share customer testimonials and reviews. People trust other people, even if those people are perfect strangers. The same true is in B2B. Testimonials are a powerful tool and a solid part of any content marketing plan. Simple? Perhaps. But it achieves the goal of turning the spotlight back on your customers and building trust in your brands at the same time. Share outside content. To fill gaps between new content releases, share third-party pieces to keep followers engaged and build a reputation as an information resource. As long as you are not promoting competitors, sharing informative content will keep community members engaged. Leverage the leaders of your company in your content. A message from the president, CEO, founder, etc. It's inspiring and lends authority to a post. It's also a good look to have higher ups in the company involved in projects and campaigns. It reinforces the idea that your company is a group of individuals, not just faces, brand logo. Share fun facts and company stories. One easy way to humanize your brand is to share real stories about the history of your company, which can include all the hardships, failures, and lessons you have learned over the years. Post a photo of your humble beginnings or a behind-the-scenes video. Company anniversaries or milestones are a great time to share this type of content. Participate in trends and challenges. Publish surveys. You can ask your followers about current situation, e.g. ask them if they are expecting an economical crisis or what is the most challenging in their business. Such surveys could be useful for you as a source of information, and at the same time could be a piece of re-engaging content. Build a solid PR content strategy. B2B marketers often have big goals and small teams. Feeding the content marketing machine is one of the most time-consuming parts of the work to do. So when you finally produce this shiny new asset, why publish it once and call it done? Use your resources wisely and turn one large piece of content into lots of micro content. Here's how it works. Step 1. Start with a single valuable piece of content, like an informative blog post, a detailed infographic, or a YouTube video packaged with great tips. Step 2. Break that single piece of content down into multiple bite-sized pieces. For example, if your piece of PR content is a full-length video, pull several value-rich clips for 45 seconds long to post across social channels. And step 3, post the micro content on social media and drive traffic to the pillar content. These snippets should be informative and useful enough to stand alone, but also redirect traffic to the main post or video. Not everything needs to spring from your pillar content, of course, but having solid pillar content helps the rest of your content feel cohesive. Feature your team in your content. Speaking of video, put your team in front of the camera. Whatever it's for information, entertainment, people trust people. So don't be a faceless brand. Draw back the curtain a little bit and show the people that make up your business. By doing so, you can personalize your brand and create some valuable content at the same time. It also lends staff a sense of ownership and authority to be the face and voice of your business. Follow your peers for inspiration. There are a bunch of microfinance institutions with energetic social media presence, and it is good to observe them for the inspiration. I can mention Adi from France, Mil Bosni from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Crystal from Georgia, Opportunity Bank Serbia, and BCRS from Great Britain, which social media strategy was presented during the webinar series. So observe them and find your own peers and your own competitors you would like to follow. And now it's your time to inspire your peers and us. Please tell us the topic of your biggest content, most successful social media post. What it was about. Please type in the chat box. We would like to hear about your most successful content. Please share with us your ideas. I will give a moment for you for typing.
Yes, please write your examples of the best content, most successful in social media. Emily shared already stories of clients. So it's something what you, Nadia, also mentioned.
Yes, client stories works really great because you are talking about somebody else's success, but it's a part of your success. So it's really great thing. Mm-hmm. Kinga, could you please read our answers?
So it's so far it's another person confirmed that stories of clients it was the most successful so far. There is no more answers. So anybody else?
Please don't hesitate and put some funny things, everything you could. Yes, client stories, especially if you are providing business loans, your services are a part of them success, actually. So it's good to put light on this.
Mm-hmm. There is another example, snapshots of workshops and events followed by tips, advices.
Yes, this is a great point. This is a typical useful content which promotes these events and at the same time is useful by itself. This is great combo.
Webinars also, again, client activities and stories. And another example, I think very relevant nowadays, in time of crisis, information about governmental support and aids.
Yes.
So again, useful information which clients may need.
Yes, as you see, all these examples, it's examples of really useful, like with government's regulations, content, but also emotional content like client success. Do we have any more?
No.
Okay, so we can go further.
So it seems that our participants mainly stress the client's stories and activities and promotion, communication about those as a very good example.
Yes. Okay. One moment, please. Okay, let's go. Digital media is measurable. You will know exactly how many people read your content, how many of them came to the website from social media, and how many of them did a transaction on the website. Use the analytics provided by the respective social media channels to get more of the information. Here are a few suggestions. If your goal is to drive traffic to your website, then track URLs, shares, clicks, and conversions. If you want to measure engagement, then look for metrics like shares, comments, and replies. All these metrics can be measured within social media channels using the internal analytics tool. Facebook Insights can be used to measure the metrics for Facebook, Twitter analysis for Twitter, Google Analytics for websites, and the YouTube Analytics, and so on. Google Analytics provides you with a lot of information about client demography and what they do on your website. You can reach for my webinar for MFC about Google Analytics. This topic was really deep and lighted. Once you are able to...
Nadia, can you just remind people what is the difference between impressions and reach?
Difference between impressions and reach. Impressions is how many times your post was shown for different users, and reach is a coverage of your posts. And some basic metrics to monitor includes how many impressions your post generated, what was the level of engagements like shares, comments, clicks, how many followers you are gaining, how many visits are you getting from social media, how many leads are you generating from social media, which of all leads becomes customers. People who are not close to the social media production could think that publishing is only hitting the button publish, but it is not. Behind every social media post stands a sequence of tasks which should be done to achieve success. It's generating ideas for your social media campaign, content preparation, text, photos, video, approval with your team, posting, adding these updates for your social media, post promotion, creating awareness for your post, engagement, interacting with your audience, analysis and learning, interpreting data, assessing and performance. And also everyday tasks which should be done really every day. Check private messages and mentions, manage and answer the comments, curate content, search for content you could share. Each of these stages is important to the success of your social media updates, and you may find you are already using many of them in your current process. If these stages and the people responsible for them are not well established, you are likely to see a lot of problems in the process. The key of a successful social media workflow is communicating and agreeing upon who is expected to handle each stage and when the work needs to be completed. It is important to plan your resources and start the battle when you have chances to win. During my work in Microfinance Center, plenty MFI social accounts which was not updated. If somebody is searching information about your institution and will see a Facebook account which lasted years ago, he will think that MFI is not anymore. Have some basic social media we need to spend minimum 10 hours weekly, depending on publishing frequency. There are a lot of advices often to post on social media. Somebody tells that every several times a day or every day. The right answer is often as you can consistently post quality content. Quality as consistency are key to social success. So you can post only once a week or once a month, but constantly, and do it all the time. How much does social media cost? It is a very complicated question. If you do it by yourself without paid promotion, it can be free. Using paid options, sky is the limit. The main cost option is paid promotion. The major social network offers advertising options for posts, for reaching more people. Next point is true for social management. These tools allow you to manage your entire social media presence from a single interface. These services simplify every aspect of managing social media, from scheduling updates to generating reports and engaging your audience. And of course, content production could generate cost. If you would like to have a great video, you will need to hire a videographer or agency. The same with photos, the same with other content. So good, cheap, fast rule works also here. There are 3 key points: good, fast, and cheap. Your project can be any 2 of these, but never all 3. Okay, now let's talk about followers, how our social media accounts can grow. First of all, optimize your profiles. Each social media site that you use is a brand embassy and should represent your home country, your website, to the fullest extent available. Include your company's logo and get all the related graphics and dimensions correct for each platform. Just like with your main website, use keywords to get your social media profile found via search. Search engines crawl most social media networks, and always include a link back to your site to make it easier for visitors to find out more about you. Promote your profiles everywhere. Add links to your website, to your email signature, and any marketing materials, to a business card everywhere. Get involved. To get followers, you first must be a good follower. Have you ever been on a cocktail party and met a guy who only talked about himself and never showed any interest to you? Don't be that guy on social media. Establishing connection on building relationships is one of the easiest way to get more people following your social media page. If you don't have time to sit down and do this on a daily basis, try to at least to do the bare minimum. If someone responds to your post, like their comment or replay. If a follower sends you a message, try to respond to them, because this could be someone who is thinking and using your product or service. Use relevant hashtags. It improves post reach. Tools like RightTag can help you find the best hashtag for each of your posts. Employee advocacy. Employee can be your biggest and greatest asset on social media. If you are linking, sharing, and engaging, if they are liking, sharing, and engaging with your content, they are broadening the reach of each post. So dust off social media policy and encourage your employees to participate in ways and align with your company. Update email signatures with links to all social profiles. Encourage liking, sharing of posts. Create a how-to guide that makes it easy for employees to engage in social media. Your employees are your best brand advocates, so encourage them to add their role to their profile. Your company page will automatically feature on their profile, helping to drive more traffic to your way. Join groups related to your industry. Joining or perhaps creating groups and communities helps overcome the low organic engagement rates on many networks. Facebook groups have grown so fast you must have forgotten that LinkedIn has the same feature. Not for long. Don't be surprised if group posts start showing up more prominently in 2020 within your notification and feeds. There are more than 2 million groups on LinkedIn for every possible industry and niche, from e-commerce dropshippers to nutrition experts. A great way to generate leads is to join active groups and regularly provide value by answering questions from other members. Consider joining groups with the following 3 features. They are relevant to your industry or niche, highly active already with daily posts, and medium in size. Not too big that you will get lost, and not too small that you can reach anyone. By participating in groups and communities related to your business, you can avoid crowded timelines and constantly update and grow your posts. This will help reach users who are interested in your industry or offerings, helping generate buzz around your content. For example, MFI providing business loans may create, moderate, and promote a group about funds and loans for small business. This not only gives the company another method of engaging the target market, but strengthen brand association with funding. Showcase your partners. Send users to your partners' social profiles by posting about collaborations. You can also gain leads by highlighting how these partners can benefit prospects and customers. For example, offer a one-time discount to followers who like or follow a partner and submit their work email address. But should you have no upcoming offers, you can support a partners. You can support a partners by tweeting about them for Follow Friday, sharing and commenting on their Facebook posts to increase impressions, sharing their post content on LinkedIn, or even posting about their job openings. That's more. Your partners may return the favor and do it for you. Post frequently but appropriately. The hardest truth about social media is that no matter how popular you become, if you stop posting and engaging, you'll be forgotten in no time. You've got to maintain a regular presence, but you also don't want to overdo it. I can't give you any hard rule of thumb for posting frequency, but generally post less frequency on networks where the newest is heavily controlled by an algorithm, like Facebook and LinkedIn, and more frequently there is no more, which is more real time, like Twitter. Tag other people and pages, users and location in your posts. This increases the likelihood of other people seeing you, page overs engaging with you, and it's also a great way to gain followers if you're attending an event. Build partnership campaigns. By that I mean building a relationship with non-competing companies what still have relevance to your business area, and then pitching to them ideas for joint content and social media campaigns. This works best if each partner has something to bring into the table. Because each partner will be promoting the content to its own audience, each has the opportunity to gain new followers from the other. Perhaps you have some interesting data from your business that you could offer to a truth or analysis company in your vertical to produce a joint study. Or you can team up with some company offering not competing services to the same audience, like e.g. account services for SMEs or other. The most important authentic marketing golden rule is not doing unto others that you don't want done unto you.
So in other words, put yourself in the shoes of your customers or any other group you want to target, and think if you will like it or not what you are doing.
Exactly, Kinga, exactly. Coronavirus has changed just about everything, and now more than ever social media may be the best way to do so. The biggest lesson of corona crisis is all online presence is essential. All of us saw how much it is important. Maybe now the situation is not so extreme like it was in March or April, but COVID is still with us and social moods could change in both directions. So it is good to understand how to operate during such crises. Listen harder. In times like this, everywhere you exist in digital in a potential customer service channel, you simply must expand your efforts to find, engage, and answer customers everywhere online. Only post with a purpose. It is not the time for frivolous posts that are sent because they are due per the social media editorial calendar. That doesn't mean you can't be lighthearted or even funny. It does mean, however, that you must carefully consider why you are posting in social media. For whom is this post intended? How does it entertain, inform, educate, or benefit the audience? What specific behavior change or thinking change are they trying to effectuate with this post? Make it about people, not logos. This was true before coronavirus, but it's especially true right now. We care about and trust people more than we care about and trust companies, organizations. Every business and every organization is composed of exceptional people, and now it is the time to showcase it. Use humans in as much as your social media as you possibly can right now. Make sure your visuals are in context. Social distancing has changed our perceptions and reality about a great many things. It's easy to rely upon your repository of brand imagery for social media, but in going so, you may unwittingly be sending a message that's not wholly appropriate. Try new formats and publishing times. While social media usage in society overall is way up during the pandemic, people's life routines are massively altered. No committees, no treadmills, having to oversee your kids' Zoom homework during the day. It's all a tangent ball of yarn. Consequently, we are already seeing big shifts in that works and then it works. Repurpose your best social media content. You already have viewed social media content. Maybe it was from last month or last year. Maybe it's a big piece of content like a report of video series. One of the best ways to succeed with social right now is to deconstruct, repackage, and republish those winners. Assuming the content is still valid, and conceptually appropriate. Focus on helping, not selling. Overall sales campaigns may be false leading during pandemic, but if you can help your prospects, they will remember and reward you. And if that's the basis of your social media to help, then if you sell a little along the way, you are in great shape. Here we have several posts from MFIs published during pandemic. The first one is from Adi France. It is about Adi's client, Emily, a small boutique manager, and her response to lockdown. She transformed offline shop in online, and Adi prepared an article about it. Such content could be interesting for the other shoppers, and for sure, Emily and her friends will share it in social media, so it will gain more reach. Next example is from BCRS. They had special loan programs for businesses affected by coronavirus, supported by the government. This post includes video with project impacts. The next one is from COSI, Microfinance from Haiti. They prepared a training video on how to protect yourself from COVID-19. And the last example is also from Adi about the agencies reopening and safe rules. So you can see several examples which could be useful and a lot of ideas how produce content which could be good and useful also in this period. So social media has changed B2B marketing forever. It's given a great sense of immediacy and responsiveness to B2B communications. It's given institutions an opportunity to present a more human face. But not surprisingly, social media requires different processes, different skill sets, and new forms of measurement. And rather than replacing other communications tools, social media will be most effective when executed in concert with other media. Not unlike traditional marketing communications, a great social media program is driven by quality content. If you're passionate by microfinance, by helping people, social media is a good channel to share your passion with others, and your efforts will return. And now, please, it's good time for your questions if you still have a time for discussion.
Yes, thank you, Nadia. So we still have a little bit of time. If you have any questions to Nadia, please please ask them. You can write them in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask the question verbally. Nadia, thanks a lot for the presentation and the practical tips and suggestions how to manage and how to build presence effectively in social media. This was very, very helpful. So are there any questions? So while you think about your questions, I will launch the evaluation poll, asking you a few questions about this webinar. So if you could answer those few questions, that would be great. It will help us to understand if we meet your needs. As Nadia was also several times mentioning, know your customer and the customer needs, so you can build the content responding to the needs of the customer. We would like to know your opinion about the webinar.
Yes, so it will be very great. It will be very useful.
So there is a question. Are free organic content still relevant on social medias with algorithms?
Yes, of course, free organic coverage is still relevant. And you can use only organic show with no paid promotion. But in this case, you should really spread your content by yourself. Go to different groups to post it. Share it with your private accounts, with employees' accounts. If you post your post only by the company profile, the coverage will be really poor. So you can pay for paid showing or spread it by yourself everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Clear, thank you. Any other questions? I encourage you to use Nadia experience.
Okay, I see that there are a lot of people who learned a lot of new things, and a lot of people who half of you heard quite a few issues where it was new. Great, great, wonderful.
So Nadia, there is another question for you. Mm-hmm. How often we should post on Facebook? I think it's a tricky question.
Yeah, it's a tricky question because there are no one answer. Such often that you could produce quality content on a regular basis. It could be even once a week, it could be even once at 2 weeks, but quality content on a regular basis. This is the criteria. And how many time do you have? But for sure, it could not be account, social media account. If it's run, it could not be set and forget, because this could really damage the reputation of the company.
And based on your experience in microfinance, like what do you observe? Like what is the good practice? Like once a week, 3 times a week, 5 times a week?
I think it depends. Of course, it's better to post more often, like every day for Facebook. But it's better. It depends of the audience. It depends of the promotion. It depends of the account authority in Facebook algorithms. So it also depends of your resources as from the other side. So just check other frequencies and see what will work best for you. This is the best.
Great. We have more questions coming, Nadia. So the first one, what do you think is the best way to directly integrate a direct purchase option on a Facebook page?
It depends what product do you have. If your product could be purchased by Facebook, yes, why not? It's a next channel of sales. You can see how many sales you will have from the Facebook, and if this integration will be worth of it. Yeah, it's a good idea, of course. Good idea to try any channels of sales. And if it's not worth, you just close it after some months. Try any options as you could manage.
And do you have any advice for creating content without involving a specialist or a consultant? So do you have any advice?
It's a great great question. Thank you very much. Almost all content ideas which was provided could be done internally. You could manage to gather testimonials and client stories from your clients by yourself. Of course, you need to run social media only on good basis. You need social media inside. It could be half-time job, or your marketer could do it half-time basis. But this could be produced inside. Even photos, even videos could be done by your mobile phone. Now, for Facebook Live, quality of videos is not so demanding. Like, you can really do it by your mobile phone. It will be live, it will be engaging. So you do it really by yourself.
And there is one more question. Would you think it's better to link to the web page rather than directly on Facebook?
It depends from what do you linking. If the first is always link your website. Always link your website. And on the Facebook, put links on your website also. Because all links to your website are accounting for search engines, and it's better to have link to your website than to your Facebook page, because then Facebook gather this score.
Okay, so there is one more question coming back to the content. We talk about, you know, what content to develop, and we heard that many of you use stories of the clients. But what other content is the most engaging, best engaging? Any other ideas, Nadia? A part of the stories from clients.
It could be polls. It could be infographics. It could be videos from your company life. It could be funny stories from your company history or work. Yeah, it could be also, it could be useful articles.
Mm-hmm.
It could be maps. It could be more and more useful and more entertainment the content is, the more it is engaging.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the better you know the client's needs, the better you can respond.
Yes, exactly. For example, if your clients are farmers, you could share content with weather forecasts. Think about their needs, what information could they need, and share this information related with your services also.
Good idea. Weather forecast for farmers. It can work. So I think you partially answered this question, but I will ask it. What do you think is the best to post in Facebook and in website, since most of the organization maintain a website and a Facebook? So on both, or?
The scheme should be like this. You post on your website the full article. On Facebook, you post just a lead, just a bite-sized thing, which attract the customer and bring him to your website. And adjust this lead, which you post, to any social media platform. For Facebook, it could be longer, for Twitter, shorter. For LinkedIn, it could be with some big questions, with some ideas, but always link and lead your visitor to the website.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for this answer, Nadia. I don't see any more questions. So again, thank you, Nadia, for leading this webinar and sharing your experience and useful tricks and tips. Thank you to all of you for participating in this webinar, and hope to see you and hear you next week when we will have another one. And thank you for sharing your experience as well. So thank you, and have a good afternoon or morning or evening.
Yes, thank you very much, everybody, for listening, and thank you, MFC, for such great opportunity. And I wish you good luck in your social media way, and have a good day and have a good life. Goodbye.
Thank